look at all that money, yeah, the money that they spent. Take another look now and take some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. Oh, an acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, right now it's time for hemp.
Thank you for taking Time for Hemp. I'm your host, Casper Leitch. You are listening to Time for Hemp on Tumblr, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and of course at timeforhemp.com. And I want to say thank you to our wonderful friends up in Canada at KDK Distributors for giving us a grant to keep us loud, proud, and strong. Also, don't forget, anytime you hear the word joint on the big broadcast, nearly 2.5 million people all around the world pack their bongs, their pipes, their vaporizers, and take Time for Hemp. It's Tuesday, and on Tuesday we put a spotlight on the hardworking activists from Canada. Wonderful people up there leading the world in the hemp industrial food and products end of the world, but they still have a nonsensical government in charge who can't get their minds around the need to end all prohibition, which is why we are working diligently to let you know how important it is to always take Time for Hemp. With that said, I want to let everybody know we're also bringing back today a member of our Time for Hemp family who's been working very diligently all around the world to spread the message. Mike Bifari is on as our joint guest and our joint host. It is Tuesday is with KDK Distributor founder Kelly Kriston. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Casper. How you doing today?
Groovy, I'll tell you. I'm just dancing on clouds here in Oregon, where it's springtime and all these wonderful marijuana gardens are just looking luscious. How's life in your slice?
Well, actually, we got some snow yesterday, believe it or not.
Wow.
It woke up in the morning, I looked out my window, and there was snow. It didn't hang around very long. Of course, it melted by the afternoon. But yeah, we started the day off yesterday with a little bit of snow.
Good Lord, middle of April. Isn't that a little late?
A little, but we can, we almost can get a little bit of snow at any time of the year up here. But yeah, it is a little on the late side, of course.
Did it hurt the gardens?
No, and they recommend to people here not to plant until after the May long weekend, which is this weekend.
Oh, well, now we know why.
Yes. So for those who planted a little early, they might have gotten a little bit of a frost. We don't know.
Well, as I said at the top of the hour, we have a member of our Time for Hemp family with us today, Mike Bifari. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing? Hi, Kelly. Nice to hear you again. Hi, Casper. Pleasure to be on the show again.
Thank you, Michael. As often as you travel, Lord knows where you're at when I call you. Are you in America, South America, China, Japan, the moon?
No, I don't go that far, unfortunately. I'm in South America. I'm in deep inside the province of Buenos Aires. You know that Buenos Aires is the capital city, but it's also a province. Wow. So I'm in inland, somewhere in the province, in the south of the province.
Well,
it's happy to hear Kelly again. You know, with Kelly, we've been around some places in Chile last year. I believe it was around November last year. We've been traveling around the north of Chile, a little bit north Santiago, around the central valleys, where all the hemp industry used to take place. Remember, Kelly?
Oh yes, I remember. It was phenomenal.
So I'm here with one of the guys, my good friend Gaston Durana. You know, he was with us in the band. He's right here with me right now, so he says hi too.
Hello. Excellent.
And well, about that, you know, I wanted to update you a little bit. You know, First of all, there's something really important that's happening that Mr. Ben Dronkers from the Museum of Europe, they sent an exhibit that was very successful around Sao Paulo, Brazil, and then it went to Montevideo, Uruguay, which was a great success. The government was there. It was incredible. And now maybe we have the chance to bring it to Buenos Aires. We're working on that. That's one of our projects, to bring that marvelous exhibit, that is really fantastic collection that, Mr. Ben Dronker sent from Europe for us. And, it's a matter of gathering the government around those pieces and, open the discussion is a great tool for the debate, and especially in these countries like Argentina that unfortunately the law has not been changed yet.
Right, and I know when I was last down there, we were met at the Expo Weed, and I believe a week after I left, because I stayed an additional week, so about 2 weeks after the Expo, there was a big discussion happening in Chile, an international discussion on the legalization of all drugs by some major nations. Can you fill us in as to anything that may have happened there?
Yes, what recently happened is that there's concerning cannabis. There's a commission. There's a Congress commission that advised the Congress people to change the law, which is the law number 20,000. That's the name of the law, which is the drug law. And what they're advising the congressmen is to allow 6 plants, mature female plants per residence, plus you can have around half kilo of dry buds as medicine in your property, and that would be completely legal. And on the other hand, they allowed a medical garden last year, which was harvested this year, and it was big success also. So we have some pictures of that. The people, our friends, our good friends, made that garden possible. And this is for 200 patients. This is an arrangement that was made by an ONG and a community, part of one community leaders. They made this agreement to make this medical garden, and the government allowed to do it. So this was really important. There were 850 plants as a first step project, right? But so things are going forward in this aspect in Chile as well. So what we're doing now, we're planning to go back to Chile, to the Central Valleys where we went with you the last time. We're planning to go back because I still trying to manage that situation with the museum. As you know, we want to leave a permanent exhibit of all the stuff that we gathered from those Central Valleys from the old days. We were talking with some Chileans, Kelly, and we think that we only discovered maybe 10% of all the stuff that might be remaining there from the old days. So
right.
We want to go back, and at least we want to film these old folks, which the old people that have all the experience, and some of them were born in the hemp fields. I think that it's a really interesting story that, if we don't do it now, we'll probably lose it forever. So we really want to go and do that. So we'll probably be around the Central Valleys again. And on the other hand, here in Argentina, we had a huge global marijuana march with more than 150,000 personas gathering and marching like 8 blocks around the downtown Buenos Aires, which this was really amazing. It was really incredible. So, now we have the pressure of Chile going forward in legalizing, and we have the pressure of Uruguay already with their clubs and their hemp fields. They have more than 50 operations of hemp in Uruguay now going on. We had the famous Andrea Herman that's working over there in Canada with the hemp industry. We had her last year in December, which was a really pleasure. And all these people that are coming, like Donnie Wirschafter, our good friend, these are giving the people of Uruguay really, big data, big information about living experience of hemp products and hemp industry worldwide. So it's really interesting what's going on, With legalization, everything is going forward.
Right. With that the conference I was referring to, do you know if what came of it, or if anything was?
Not really. I don't recall exactly that conference. I don't have that conference in my mind now. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know that. But let's say, we just have this information, that, in the last about a week ago, we had this people in the Argentine delegation in the United Nations with Colombian delegations and the Jamaican delegation. They made an amendment to start to reform the United Nations policy concerning cannabis and concerning the drug policy, because Jamaica is legalizing as well. So, because these changes are going on in individual countries, now it's time to change the global policies. So this is really, I think it's a really important news, because as the United States, is legalizing inside so many states now even for recreational now. So I think that it's time to change it globally, because these policies that had been spread around the world of the war on drugs was completely failure and completely a disaster, and it bring a lot of harm, and a lot of human rights violation. That's what we're demanding now, to stop this war on drugs because of the human rights violation. Because it's not just, they were really human rights violations with thousands of people killed, like in Mexico, and worldwide. And this is a threat that goes to every single continent, like nobody is secure with these type of policies against the war on drugs, because it's a fertilized field for every type of corruption with law enforcement, So this is the problem that we have.
Yeah.
How is my English sounding? I don't know if I'm correct or not.
No, you sound really good, actually. No problems. No problems at all.
Any new discoveries in your neck of the wood, Michael?
Can you say that again?
Any new discoveries in your neck of the woods? I know you have a tendency of unearthing history and historical items.
Oh yeah. We're actually, we've been discovering that there's more hemp in our history than we thought. Every day we discover things about even our places here. There's a place around 60 kilometers out that we just discovered that they seem to have hemp around the 1920s. There seems to be hemp fields around here too, and we also found some history people. Like this old general that was in favor of the national stuff, and he mentions hemp a few times. So it's incredible. It has been denied, so it's incredible. We feel so happy when we discover things, because it has been denied and it has been completely forgotten for many generations now, and prohibited. People don't know about it. Even if it was part of the culture of their ancestors, they don't know about hemp. Like we have a huge immigrant population that came from Italy here. And we were talking to some experts, and for example, all the people that came before the war, even after the war, Italy was a great producer of hemp products, like clothing. So we think that many of our grandfathers, they brought hemp clothing with them when they got here to America, when they got here to South America. So I think that is something incredible that nobody really realizes, that we were using this plant for a long time and we didn't even know.
Well, I think it's been proven throughout history that this plant has been utilized as much or more than probably any plant on Earth.
Absolutely.
Well, this is a good time for me to stop and let the world know that we have sponsors, and I would encourage you to go to the timeforhemp.com website and let all of our sponsors know that you heard about them here on the Big Broadcast. You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
She was
Yes, she was cannabis high, and so am I. I want to let you know that it's always fun to be cannabis high. I would not suggest that you do what I do, and that is get high at work, unless you can get high at work, like you get a job like I've got. But you need to be responsible with anything you utilize in your life, whether it be medicinal or recreational marijuana, whether it be chocolate bars, or whether it be even too much exercise can be a bad thing. All things in moderations, and be respectful of the rights of others. With that said, it is Tuesday. We are saluting the hardworking activists up in Canada, and we have KDK Distributors as our joint host. Kelly Kriston, founder of that illustrious organization, and he also is a hardworking activist who has a team of people that have a wonderful outlet where you can find great products to stock your shelves with. If you have a store up in Canada, I would encourage you to check out KDK Distributors. And Kelly, also on your shelf is a vaporizer that you also make available to members of the medical marijuana community for free if they need one. The Herbal Air, I've got one, and it's a lovely vaporizer. It's helping me heal from my motorcycle accident. And I know that there's people out there that would be interested in hearing more about this vaporizer and your kind offer.
Absolutely. For quite a while now, we've had the privilege to offer 100% for free a vaporizer to qualified medical patients, as we'll call them. And really all we're looking for is medical patients anywhere in the world, even down there in South America, Mike, if you know anybody. What we're looking for, of course, is people who use cannabis as a medicine, and they want to maybe smoke it in a little bit more of a healthy fashion, so they're interested in getting a vaporizer. A lot of people that I'm aware of that use cannabis, certainly in Canada, they're generally on a subsistence of very little money from government agencies such as pensions and disabilities and all that kind of stuff, and they have a tough time just making ends meet, let alone putting medicine, and certainly acquiring a quality vaporizer is not within their financial capabilities. So these are the people we're looking for. I know that some of you are listening, and certainly any of you that are listening, if you're not one of these people, you certainly know somebody who could benefit greatly from a quality vaporizer. Not only do they get their medicine in a much more healthy fashion, the machines are actually extremely efficient, and patients use less cannabis than they were previously to get the same relief. So it's a double whammy for them. Not only is it more healthy, but it's really, really big on their pocketbook. So it's super simple. All you have to do is take the time to send me an email to Kelly, Kelly, at kdkwholesale.ca. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and if you can, and include a photo. And, we love to hear from you. And it's anywhere in the world. We pay to get it to you. There's no cost at all. It arrives at your door 100% for free, and you can start to use it right away. So I hope to hear from lots of you, because we certainly enjoy giving them away.
And on behalf of the medical marijuana community, thank you. Such a gracious offer, and how kind of your team and you to make that happen. Remind people you can also check out our online zine, Joint Conversations, and find the name of the person who was awarded or given the vaporizer this month, and stay up to date with this ongoing offer. As Kelly's also pointed out, if your name's not pulled out of the hat this month, they leave your name in there, and it could be pulled out of the hat next month. So eventually your time for hemp will come. With that said, I'm passing this joint conversation back to my joint host and our joint guest here on the Big Joint broadcast, while I enjoy my joint here in the joint at Time for Hemp.
Well, it was very much a pleasure to meet Mr. Bifari at the Weed Expo in Santiago last fall.
Yeah, I was really glad to meet you, Kelly, and I noticed. I hope that you took back home, the impression of how wild this is, isn't it?
It was incredible. I remember the town we went to and being in the square when we first arrived and noticing on a very, very old building the hemp leaf right in the concrete on the building in the center square. That was really special.
Yes, we have that picture. Yes.
Yeah, and looking to seeing some of those pictures of the old, the hemp that was so prominent in the valley there, and the farmers carting it and dealing with it. It was really amazing to see what a valuable product it was back then, and how unbelievably we lost.
Remember that old breaker, that wooden breaker, that was really old. It's more like 160 years, maybe.
Yes, you bet. So it's people way back in history knew the value of this plant and were utilizing it, and I'm blown away that, of course, we're not so smart these days and don't use it to its potential. But it continues to change. Certainly has a lot here in Canada, with more and more acres being planted to hemp. And you look in South America, Uruguay, with cannabis legalization, the legalization in 2 states in America, and all South American countries really moving toward more sensible drug laws and prohibition and all that kind of ending prohibition. It's amazing, and the progress as we continue to move forward. There's very little negativity associated with it, and it's all pluses. So at some point in time, it's just going to break open, and we're going to see hemp everywhere.
Yes, and these are the soil. We have different environments. We can, if we go forward, I think we'll have the privilege to see and to taste different type of weeds, from different places, and this is going to be awesome. And we're going to discover more medical values. We're going to be able to work freely and go for the real medicine, for the valuable medicine. It's going to be really important if we go forward this way, in legalizing. It's incredible what the way you can work if you legalize something. It's one thing. It's that paranoia, like a big sore on your head, about to fall and cut you in two. That's the way I feel with the law and this punishment, incredible punishment against just growers or against growing this miracle plant that helps so many people. So, I think that it's a transition. These times, this is a time of transition for us in South America. But you guys over there are ahead. You're the example for us. So it's amazing that we can do the show, because we can, show to the world both sides of the development of how things are changing worldwide, right?
Absolutely, things are changing worldwide and moving in the right direction. Generally, most places.
Exactly. Yes. I wanted to. As you know, we gave a flag made out of hemp to the president of Uruguay, President Mujica, and that flag was made by we have to say donations from people from the United States. We have to thank Paul Stanford and Eric, another activist, and the name of the lady that saw the flag. They were really great, a great team that we had over there in Oregon to help us with the flag. And now we're planning to make another flag for the Argentine president. We think it's a good present, to give the Argentine president the flag before she leaves She's going to leave the 10th of December. She's leaving office. And she has been an historical president for Argentina. You know, this lady, this is her second term in office. And she has, you know, like more than, like almost 50% of how do you say it? A good image, you know, among the people. So she's very popular. She's really good. And we want to give her the flag of Argentina made out of hemp. If we bring the museum that's over there in Uruguay, we want to set it up in a nice place, maybe a government place, to open up for everybody, you know, for free, so they can check out the history, the living history of this miracle plant. You know, see, the exhibit that Mr. Ben Drunker sent from Europe is really incredible. It has these old jars from the 19th century from the United States, from Parky Davis, you know, from different labs that were working in those days. We're talking about 150 years ago. And they have this whole collection of these jars in this exhibit. So, and there's also all these old posters of you know, of hemp, the hemp fields, these old wooden machines that were used to, you know, to fold up the twines, you know, the ropes and things. So it's really, really interesting. I think that it's going to blow minds here in Buenos Aires if we're able to do that, to bring the museum over here to the city. You know, it's a great tool. That's the way that we have to use these things, right? Because it's a culture. It's a human culture, a part of a human culture that has been denied by these nonsense people that were in office. You know, like all these old fascist state officials that were in the United States in the 30s. You know, like Mr. Ashlinger. Like all those people that made this incredible plant prohibited because of their own business interest. And now all the consequences. But fortunately, these times are changing now. So we're really happy about this. But we have to keep on with the educating people about the history. I think that is a great tool for us to have it here.
How are things moving forward in Argentina?
Well, you know, it has been difficult. Like in the last Global Marijuana March, we had a huge crowd, like 150,000. But to tell you the truth, the main slogan, you know, the main political line among the organizers was divide. You know, it was
right.
It was not unite, because we have different people. You know, nobody is the owner of the Global Marijuana March. We have a stage, but nobody's the real owner of the march. It doesn't have an owner, right? So we have different organizations with different political lines. You know, like some people were asking decriminalization for cannabis, you know, and taking the whole approach as if it would be a harm reduction approach, you know. And so not, you know, that made a division, because most of the people, I can say that most of the people, they want to discuss everything about the plan. You know, they want to discuss production, distribution, and sales over the counter, like everywhere else. You know, like Uruguay, like Chile, and like United States, and like everywhere where it's going forward with legalization, they're discussing everything. So that was an issue. I think it was really interesting debate and interesting issue to discuss about, you know?
For sure, for sure. So such a large turnout for the marijuana march. Is that typical, or that was in Buenos Aires?
Yes, this was in Buenos Aires, but they had marches around 15 other cities around the huge Argentina. You know, this is a huge country from north to south. And for example, in the city of Córdoba, they had around more than 27,000 personas in one march, you know?
Wow, very nice, very nice. We certainly like to hear.
This same political division that I was talking to you about in Buenos Aires, the same political division took place in the huge crowd in Córdoba as well. You know.
So you have all these different parties involved in the marijuana march. Some are for decriminalization, some are for legalization, I assume, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. And
right.
we have about 9 Congress projects in the Congress. Only one talks about legalization from the 9 of them. Right.
Well, we have sort of a similar thing going on here. Of course, Canada has been moving in the wrong direction over the last 4 years, and one of the political parties actually stood up and put their neck on the line and said they would legalize if elected. And initially, the governing party, of course, scoffed at it, made fun of it, did whatever with it, but then they quickly realized the huge public support for this particular issue in Canada. And now the hardline government has actually thrown the words out there of decriminalization, which is a big step forward from getting tougher on crime, building private prisons, and filling them up with people who, mandatory minimums like 6 months in jail if you're to grow 6 plants, this kind of crazy nonsense. So even the hardline guys here are starting, at least talking about a softer stance. So it's been a big plus. It's been in the news an awful lot. We had recent history. The mayor of our largest city, the police chief of our largest city, which is Toronto, recently retired from the force, and he became a member of the Liberal Party and will be running in the next federal election. And, this is another big plus because the Liberal Party is the party that claims they will legalize if elected. So very, very awesome to have the retired police chief of the largest city in Canada behind cannabis legalization.
Wow, that's incredible.
That is incredible.
I like to think we're on the right direction after 3 years of major slippage, 3-4 years now of falling behind and just being crazy with mandatory minimums and tougher laws and private prisons to hopefully.
We don't like Mr. Harper.
Yeah. No, I'm not a Harper fan, and you can be assured that I will be one person in Canada that will follow my policy. I just tell people, please vote. It's ABC, anything but conservative, which is the Harper Party. And I wish that everybody in the country would at least go out and vote. And hopefully they vote ABC, anything but conservative.
Well, with that said, we're going to do our ABCs and turn them into $1, $2, $3, we hope, and take a commercial break. It is just a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to pick up where we left off here at Time for Hemp.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
Serious Seeds is your source for quality cannabis and sativa seeds. Serious Seeds are the creators of legendary strains like AK-47, Bubblegum, Chronic, Cali Mist, and White Russian. The AK-47 is probably the most awarded strain on the planet. The high THC content of AK-47 makes it the perfect medical strain for patients seeking quick pain relief. Cali Mist is an almost pure sativa. Female medical cannabis patients have reported that this strain helps relieve menstrual cramps. Serious Seeds just acquired another Dutch high-quality seed bank, Magus Genetics. From now on, Serious Seeds can offer you even more award-winning strains. The fine folks at Serious Seeds strive to breed the best cannabis genetics that they can find, so patients can rely on the effectiveness of their medicine. Go to SeriousSeeds.com to grow your medicine. That site again is SeriousSeeds.com.
Well, now, chocolate cake makes my poor stomach ache, and all those pills are too much for me to take. I don't like cocaine, cause it makes me all uptight, but coffee and reefer makes me feel alright. Crystal meth will make you high.
Yeah, coffee and reefer does make me feel all right. So does smoking out with my friends and telling the world how bad these prohibition laws are, and reminding you that as long as you're sitting there watching America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent or somebody in your neck of the wood might have talent, that you're just part of the problem. You're just sitting there eating Twinkies, staring at the electronic images going in front of your head, going, wow, what next, dude? Come on. Get a hold of yourself. Get one foot in front of the other. Get out that door. Become part of the solution and let people know everywhere how important it is to take time for hemp. With that said, I'm going back to my joint conversation with my joint friends here at the Joint Broadcast. Don't forget, like a good joint, we are best when shared with friends. So I'm going to puff on my joint here in the joint and let you get back to your joint chat here at Time for Hemp. Gentlemen?
Excellent. Well, we just finished with sort of political stuff. I guess Mike has a list of upcoming events that are happening in his area that we'd certainly like to hear about for anybody that's in the area.
Yeah, the closest event that we have is that, like in Chile, they're celebrating the Global Marijuana March the 24th of May, so it's still there. So anybody who's around Santiago, I know a lot of tourists around Santiago, they can join the Marijuana March in Santiago, Chile. And of course, here in Argentina, like locally, we have these. For years, we've been having these contests, this bud contest, like the copas, the cups. So there's 3 major cups, in Buenos Aires, and of course we're going to be part of the 3 of them, and with our own samples, of course. This is fun, it's a fun thing to do. It's like, for many people, it's like a hobby, like people join together. It's a celebration each year that we have, these 3 events. And then there's also going to be an event this is going to be in August, July, and also in July there's another cup in Montevideo, which is our next door neighbor country, right? Montevideo, Uruguay. Uruguay is another country, and which everybody knows that legalized. So they're having their party there too in around July. And we're going to be having the 3 events, the 2 events that we had last year, which was the Expo Uruguay in first days of December, and then we're going to have the Expo Chile in November, last days of November. I don't know the exact dates here now, but it's last days of November. And in the middle of that, there's going to be another event in Buenos Aires. It's called the Expo Haze. That's organized by the Haze magazine, which is a haze that the Haze magazine basically represents the growers. It's a big growers magazine. So they're going to organize this kind of an event in Buenos Aires, and I believe it's going to be awesome because, Buenos Aires is kind of a big country comparing to Chile and Uruguay because of the amount of population. So anything that is being done here is going to have a great impact, I think. So it's going to be exciting to be part of this. I think that this is it for the moment.
Okay, I do. I have the dates for Expo Weed in Santiago.
Okay,
They are
that's November.
they are November 27th, 28th, and 29th.
Perfect. Perfect. There you go. We're gonna
For anybody that's listening in that neck of the woods, it's an incredible show. Great vibe. The weather is nice. It's an outdoor under the tent kind of thing. It's it's a great show.
Yeah, and we have to say that we had an incredible time in Santiago with Kelly, and also let me tell you, Kelly, Uruguay was awesome as well. It was awesome. It had the beach. It has the beach. It has great food, incredible food in Santiago, and in Montevideo, and the place where the Expo Uruguay was placed. It was incredible. It was an old lab place, but it had these park, green spaces around, so people could lay down with trees, and it had a covered place with all the the booth, the expo booth with all the wholesalers, retailers. How do you say it?
Well, the trade.
All the people exhibiting their stuff.
Yes. Now you're saying so Montevideo, Santiago, and there's a third show.
Yeah, Buenos Aires.
In Buenos Aires, and they're all going to be within a 2.5-3 week period.
Exactly.
Awesome. It's a huge plus for international visitors like myself. I really wanted to stay for the show in Uruguay, but it's just not possible. And if they're all closer together, then it's possible for international guys like me to be able to attend all events. So
Kelly, let me tell you, I think it was a pity. It was a really pity that you didn't make it the last time. Remember, I told you about it, right? I think we spoke about it. I think you will love it. You will love Uruguay, Kelly.
I have no doubt.
And there's a lot of. Let me tell you, there's a lot of things going on in Uruguay. I have a little team with my partner here. We work together. We work with the Uruguayan government because we had a project of growing hemp maybe in the future. So we went to see them, and we were really impressed the way they treat us. They treat us really well, and they told us that there were like about more than 14 operations of hemp for oil already in Uruguay.
Wow. Is that because of the legalization? Did that change things with hemp, or were they always doing hemp before?
No, they were not doing it before. They only had one operation before. That was a partnership with a private person and the government, But that was like an experiment. It was a prototype project,
Nice.
Yes, and we saw films about that operation. We know the person that made that operation with the government. As a good friend of Andrea Herman as well, Fabrizio Gambarini. He's a pioneer in what has to do with the hemp industry in Uruguay. And but now I think that more people are coming to Uruguay to make this adventure of going through in the hemp industry, planting hemp. We had a nice conference in Uruguay with Andrea Herman, which was really inspiring for the agriculture workers there in Uruguay. So I think that many maybe they're going for hemp because the hemp industry is increasing.
Yes, it is around the world, and it's awesome to hear that they're got it going down there as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're waiting for Argentina, we're waiting for Argentina. It's a huge country that has such a huge land here. for some reason we didn't go forward. But, one thing I didn't want to forget to mention, that we just gave this news about the United Nations, that Jamaica, the Jamaica representative is speaking about changing the international law that has to do with the United Nations. And we heard that the Argentine representative supported the idea of the Jamaican, I think that is great, because that is what we want. We want that the law has to be changed internationally. But, we don't have problems with the Argentine governments, but for some reason they could not change the laws yet, It's such a big interest from some lobbies, from criminal lobbies. In my opinion, they're criminals, these people that take money out of the suffering of others for growing this plant, put people in prison for growing this plant, and also the false moral, the false moral, like the Catholic Church, which has all type of crimes all over, spreading all over the world, very, very serious crimes committed against people, and they speak against cannabis. So, we have that interferences, like the Pope is Argentinian now. Can you believe that?
That's funny.
Yeah, we have the best soccer player and the Pope, Messi. Messi is the best soccer player, and we have the Pope Argentinian, but we don't have cannabis with us, unfortunately.
Well, what we don't have with us either is time. We are down to the last 3 minutes, and this gives us a chance to give a shout-out to URLs and any organizations you want to put a spotlight on. Michael?
Yes, CanaMed. Check out CanaMed. Yes, CanaMed.
All right, that's it. CanaMed. Is that CanaMed.com or just Google search it or what?
Yes, CanaMed.com. Check out CanaMed.com.
All right, and Kelly?
For those of you that are interested in the free vaporizer, or don't forget, if you certainly know somebody that could benefit, it's very simple. Kelly, Kelly, at kdkwholesale.ca. Keep them coming. We love to hear from you.
And don't forget, we are a growing team of people dedicated to ending prohibition, heard all around the world on iHeartRadio. Free Google app and the Google Plus store you can download. Free SoundCloud app you can download and check us out. Free Tumblr app you can download and check us out. Free Spreaker app you can download and check us out. Free iHeart app. Yes, of course, you can download and check us out. Use us in your smartphones, your handheld devices, all your little groovy tablets. Don't forget, you can go to timeforhemp.com, and if you've got a favorite program that you enjoy, click on the name of the host, and you'll find out more about them, and you will also discover their archives. We have all of our programming that's ever been recorded at Time for Hemp, archived at timeforhemp.com. And, of course, like a good joint, we are always best when you are sharing us with your friends. With that said, remember, the next time you hear me, you'll know that it's Time for Hemp.
Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they spent. Take another look and spend some time for him. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yes, it's time for hemp. Whoa, an acre of hemp makes 20 bales of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, time for hemp! Yeah!
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
Well, downtown surveillance cameras were bumped off the public safety agenda for tonight as the debate to move forward with the Austin Regional Intelligence Center got heated. Fox 7's James Irving joining us live from City Hall with the story. James?
Now, Loriana, the Austin Police Department says this fusion center would allow them to stay one step ahead of criminals. But critics warn we could be getting ahead of ourselves because this information, once it's gathered, could be used the wrong way.
How can they sign up for something that they don't know what it is?
One of several outbursts from the crowd voicing their dissatisfaction with ARIC, or the Austin Regional Intelligence Center. It's a fusion center where law enforcement agencies from the federal down to the local level gather, share, then analyze information about crimes like gang activity that reach out of local jurisdictions, even across the border. Critics like the ACLU and Texans for Accountable Government say that information could be abused without a clearly defined privacy policy. The Public Safety Commission voted tonight to move forward, even though the current privacy policy still isn't complete.
The potential exists for private personal information to be aggregated to the ARIC outside of a criminal context. And we have a big problem with that. Health records, financial records, all this stuff could go to the Austin Regional Intelligence Center without any kind of criminal predicate.
If there is some piece of information that we cannot take to a criminal court and get a prosecution on, we can't use that information because it would be suppressed. That would violate the entire premise of this whole thing.
Health records, financial records, all this stuff could go to the Austin Regional Intelligence Center without any kind of criminal predicate.
That would violate the entire premise of this whole thing.
Without any kind of criminal predicate.
That would violate the entire premise of this whole thing.
Without any kind of criminal predicate.
That would violate the entire premise of this whole thing. So that is a message that we need to repeat.
The ARIC Fusion Center will go before Austin City Council at their May 27th meeting, and doors could open on the Fusion Center by the end of the summer. Reporting live from City Hall, James Irby, Fox 7 News Edge.
All right, thank you, James.